Hi, what's up guys, it's Philip here and welcome to Abstract Composition course. In this course I will teach you how to build 5 abstract compositions using Cinema 4D. Later we will render them in Octane. You can use Redshift or standard renderer or any other renderer, really, it doesn't matter since rendering is relatively easy, but primarily this is a 3D modeling course on stylized abstract modeling. This is the first piece we will be building, this is the second one, this is the third one, fourth and fifth. Once finished, of course, you guys can use these for your portfolio. And yeah, that's it. Let's begin making this. The first thing we're going to build here is the backdrop. That's this background thingy. This is a standard backdrop that photographers use. Let me show you how it looks. This is the backdrop, as you can see. So we'll be building this, but our will be like a half pipe, I think. So not exactly like this one, but yeah, I will now show you how to do it. It's really not that hard. So first we will need a plane. I will go here into display and turn on constant shading lines. I like to model in this view mode. For the plane, we want to put the segments to something like 100 here and 100 here. And now we want to make this really wide, like this. And we want to make it something like this. And this will be our backdrop. Now we want to put a bend deformer here. So while having the plane selected, you will press down Shift on your keyboard and click on bend. And it will put the bend as a child component of your plane. Now for the strength here, we want to make it minus 180 degrees because we want to create a shape for the bend. And for this thing here, this is the shape that we basically want our bend to have. So just increase the size here. And I think for this value, X, Y, Z, I think, yeah, this should go like this. Now we want to rotate the bend. We will rotate it here 80 degrees and we will rotate it like this 80 degrees. Okay, this is our bend. This is what we want. We just want to scale it down. So press T and click anywhere on your screen to do this. Okay, this is our backdrop. So let me save this. In this course, this course is aimed both for beginners and for intermediate Cinema 4D users. I will explain everything that a beginner needs to know in order to follow along, and you intermediate and advanced users can really skip over that, but I think it's important to explain my workflow and make this course beginner friendly. So let me show you some things here in Cinema 4D. We have already tell you some stuff about Cinema 4D. In Cinema 4D, we will be working in a perspective view. And in order to always get back to this view, you have to press F1 on your keyboard. So F1 is perspective view. If you wanted to look at this from the top, like this, you press F2, and this is the top view. As you can see, our bend, we can leave it as it is, but yeah, I just wanted to show you this. This is the top view. Let's get back to the perspective view. If you want to look at this here, like from the right or from the left, you can press F3 to view the scene from the right, and F4 is actually looking to the scene from the front. It's looking at the scene from this angle. We will also be using this view as well. So F5 is really all of these views, and you can change any of these views here in cameras. You can change these views. So now let me jump back here. So in Cinema 4D, if you want to create a new element, you will click here, and this adds a cube here. Now we want to press on the plane, and we will just reposition our plane here so that every new element that we create. Okay, this is our plane here, and let's now create a camera and just position our camera so that like we are shooting a photo here. So I will create an Octane camera. You can create an ordinary camera, it really doesn't matter. So jump into camera here, and we will be using the telelens here. Now click on the settings and change the height. Actually, the width, change it to be the same value as here. So 720 pixels. This is just what we need, a square. And we want to look through the camera. Press here. Now you are looking at the scene through the camera. Go into coordinates here and right click these controllers. Right click, right click, right click, right click, right click. Now the camera is at a null position. You want to jump to the top view and reposition the camera here. And then jump F3 to the right view and put the camera, this is the focus that we can change later, but put the focus somewhere here. And this is what we get when we look through the camera. Let's now go F1, and this will be our scene. As you can see on the reference, this is almost something that we want. Actually, I think this might be perfect. Okay, now we want to create this bottom element. This is a cylinder. Our composition will go onto the cylinder. So let's delete this cube here and put a cylinder. And now we want to size it down like this, put it here. And we don't need these height segments, so right click here. Actually, right click doesn't work, so go into one. We need one height segment. Press F2 to jump into the top view. When I'm in the top view, when I want to zoom, I press down 2 on my keyboard to zoom. I press 1 on my keyboard and left click to move. And I press, yeah, these are the two options that I use. If you press 3, you can rotate, but I don't use that. Same thing here from this view. You press 1 to move and 2 to zoom. Okay, we want to jump into the top view and increase the size of this cylinder and put it here. And now we want to press down 1 and put the cylinder here at the bottom. This is what we have basically. Now let's add some segments to our cylinder. We want to reduce the height. So this is the proper height. I jump to the right view and align it somewhere here so that it looks like it's not floating. Okay, now we want to increase the rotation segments to something like 50, actually to 100. And now our cylinder is smooth, we will not see the edges. And we want to jump into the caps here and enable fillet, and now our cylinder is round. Maybe this is too much radius, so let's just put 2 here. And this is our fillet. And we're good to go. Now let's add our first elements to the composition here. Remember to always save. First we will add these 3 cubes. And as you can see, all the elements here are beveled, so these cubes also have some bevel. We will add 1 cube here. Jump into the top view, resize it like this. Resize it like this, make it a bit chunky. When you want to move in Cinema 4D, you use the move tool. It's also shortcut E on your keyboard. You can click here and move it like this. When you want to rotate, you press R and then you can rotate. And Control Z to move back. Let's just make it of proper height and length. I think this one is pretty high. Oh, it's actually somewhere here. Okay. We will use the cloner for this element, so we'll just put it here and add a fillet. And I think we're fine here. Now what we want to do is select a cube here and go into the MoGraph. And while pressing down Alt on my keyboard, I will add my cube to the cloner. And depending on your version of Cinema 4D, you will have a grid array here. We don't want a grid array. We want a linear. And in the linear, yes, we do want a count of 3, but we don't want 50 in the epsilon here. We want to cut this and put it into X and increase the X like this. Now we have 3 elements. Go into transform and we want to rotate it like this. And yeah, that's it. Okay, now when I look at this, I see that the gap needs to be smaller and this shape needs to have a larger height. So jump into the cube, increase this, and back in our cloner, reduce this. Nice. Okay, reposition the cloner. And this is fine. I will come back here, make this a bit smaller and put it here. Okay, now when I look at it, I think we have to reduce the size of this. So I will just scale the whole cloner down. If you press T on your keyboard, you will activate the scale tool, and you can then press anywhere to scale like this, and then press E to activate the move tool and just put it here. These are the three commands that I use. It's when you select something, it's E to move it, it's R to rotate it, and then it's T to scale it. Okay, this is fine. I'm pleased with this. Let's actually reduce the width. So here in the cube, I think this is this value. Reduce the width like this. This is perfect. Okay, now let's create this shape here at the back. It is just a circle. So how we're going to do this is pretty straightforward. We'll use a tube. So put a tube here. Remove the height segments here. So make only one. Reduce the height, make it like this. And then go into the fillet, activate the fillet. Radius can be 2. Now you want to press R to rotate it. When you rotate it, press down Shift and you will have the snap. Snap it to 80 degrees. Increase the radius. Press T, scale it like this. Now I will jump into the top view and press E to move it here. And put it somewhere here. This is perfect. Jump into the cube, and for the rotation segments, it's 100. Now I see that inner and outer radius needs to change, so we want a slightly smaller outer radius, and then increase the. Actually, we want to press T and scale this up, then position it somewhere here. Okay, now I just noticed that here we can't see the top, but in our render actually here we can see the top. So we want to press F3 to go into the right view, select our plane, and while your mouse is here in the viewport, press S to target it. Okay, what we want to do here is change the size of our bend. So we want to increase the height. Let's see how we do it. We do it here. So yeah, increase the height so that this camera is not aligning with this. So increase the height to something like this. So 485. Then put the bend back. And this is perfect. Jump back, F1. We can't see the ceiling. This is perfect. Okay, I think we have to reduce the radius here a bit. So reposition it here and reduce outer radius, something like this. Okay, for the fillet radius, also put it 1 here, and this is actually the shape that we want. You can rescale this and put it here. Okay, perfect. This is fine. We're not going to replicate it 100%, but something like 80%, excuse me, 90%. I see the circle is a bit big, so let's actually resize it like this, put it here. Okay, let's now move to this shape. As you can see, it's a cylinder, slightly changed. So yeah, let's make that. It's nothing special really. So let's put a cylinder, jump to the top view, put it here, reduce its radius. Okay, for the height segments, we wanna put 1 here. For the rotation segments, since we want this to be smooth, we will put 50 rotation segments here. Actually, let's put 60. Okay. Now we will put the cylinder here. And let's inspect the shape. We are not really seeing the shape here, but we have these edges here, and yeah, we can easily create that. Let's now make our cylinder this wide, actually wide like this. And now, while having cylinder selected, we'll press C on our keyboard to make this object editable, and then jump into the edges mode. And then go pick a line cut tool, and we'll create a line cut. Actually, go pick a loop cut tool, and we'll create a loop cut here. Okay, now we will right click on our camera and go add a protection tag here so that we cannot move our camera while we are looking through it. I forgot where the protection tag is. So here it is, rigging tags, protection. And now we will leave the camera. I've pressed 2 on our keyboard to zoom in and press the cylinder here. Okay. If you look at our reference, we have, this is an edge. This is an edge here, and this is another edge here. So we actually need 2 edges. So this is our first one, and well, we can just add a second edge here. And then go into the polygon mode and select UL on your keyboard, actually loop selection. Okay, now when you have a loop selection selected, you should press T on your keyboard to activate the scale tool, and then you need this green scale tool that only scales in 2 axes. So do this, and yeah, jump back to the camera view, and this is what we wanted. Press E. We can really rotate this a bit. Okay, now what we want to do is click on points mode and then go into rectangle selection and select these rectangles here. Press T on our keyboard and scale this up a bit so that we get this shape. And this is exactly what we wanted, this shape. Now let's again jump back from our camera view, go into the edges mode and go into loop selection as well. You can use the shortcut UL on your keyboard. Select this edge, press down shift, select this edge, press down shift and select this edge. Now we want to bevel these. So you can either press bevel here, right click, bevel, or press MS on your keyboard to activate the bevel tool. Now bevel it like this. So offset is 3.3 and the subdivision is 0, and then add subdivisions. For example, 6 subdivisions, and now you jump back to the camera mode, and as you can see, we have it here. If you press render now, as you can see, everything is bubbled. We're getting the highlights. So to explain a bit, in 3D, when you create a cube and rotate it, you can see that edges are perfectly straight. And this never happens in real life. If this happened in real life, light wouldn't really bounce off these edges and you couldn't see the reflections on the edges. But actually the edges are the really important part when it comes to reflections. So on every edge you want to bevel it in 3D to make your renders look realistic. So you can do it either with the fillet command here or by beveling and chamfering your edges. So if you add fillet, now you can see this has a curve. Okay, this is our composition at the moment. Let's now add another element. As you can see, our shape here is a bit behind these walls. So we want to do that. We want to select our cylinder here and move it a bit like somewhere here behind. And then we want to select the cloner and move it here. And yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. Now let's add these. These are like cylinders in a cloner. Nothing really special. So add a cylinder, kill the height segments to 1, and decrease the radius. You have to make it really thin. And then put the cylinder somewhere here. Jump to the top view, put it somewhere here. Okay, the cylinder goes here. Zoom in, put the cylinder here. This is perfect. Maybe even make the radius a bit smaller. Okay. Now, while you have the cylinder selected, go into MoGraph, press down Alt on your keyboard and put it into the cloner. Jump it to linear, and when you look at this scene, you can see the axis here. It shows that X is on the right. So we don't need 50 here in the Y. We need 50 for the X. But 50 is too much and it's not in the direction that we want to go. So we will have to make it negative. And we want to make it -7. Okay. Actually, let's make it -6 and then increase the count. Okay, this is fine, although the cylinder is too big and its height is too high, so let's reduce the height and then move the cloner down and look at our reference. Okay, we had to reduce the height. It's a bit tedious work to reduce the height and then move the cloner all the way, but one way to change this is to make this cylinder editable. We don't want to do that at the moment. We will do it later. So I think it's too small at the moment. Let's just put it here and increase the height of the cylinder. We're fine. I'm happy with this. Let's now do the next shape. So we want to create this shape here. This is also a sort of a cube. So create a cube, go F2 and put the cube somewhere here. Resize it, scale it down and put it here. Okay. Now we want to jump into the cube and add some segments to it. So we want 5 segments here and 8 segments here. Let's see how this looks. Okay, actually not. Actually no. We want only the Y segments. Okay. We want to activate the fillet. Reduce the fillet radius to 1. Okay. Okay, this is perfect. Now select the cube, press C to make it editable. Jump out of the camera view. Zoom out. And come in here. Go into the polygon mode. Go into live selection and select all of these polygons here. Okay, now I actually hate these grid lines here, so I will go into filter and then disable work plane, and this is fine. While having all of these selected, press I on your keyboard. This is inner extrude, you can find it here. So you want to uncheck preserve groups, and now click and drag to do this. And this is perfect. Now you want to press down Control and pull it inside. And this is how you make an extrusion. Now go into the loop selection. So loop selection is, where is it? It's here, but you can press UL on your keyboard. Go into the edge mode and now select these edges. You want to select this. Okay, if you make a wrong selection, just undo. So you want to select all of these edges because we want to fillet them. Okay, with everything selected here, select bevel. Actually, MS on your keyboard. This bevel is huge, so if you have values here, just reset them. Put them to like 3, and then click and drag to add a just slight bevel here. Okay, this is the bevel. This is what we wanted. This is now perfect. Okay, this is our shape. Jump back into the camera view. This is perfect. Let's now see what the next shape is. Let's create this one. Okay, as you can see, this is a polygon with multiple edges. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how we want to create this, jump into the top view and press Spline pen, and you have to draw this. So make sure to not have the cube selected. So jump into the objects mode, deselect everything, delete this spline. Okay, polygon pan, actually spline pan. We will create a spline that looks like that. So I think this is the shape. If you click and drag, you will get the pen tool. You don't need that, so just click and don't drag. We want this shape. Okay, now to align everything, select these, press T, and then pull this while pressing down Shift, and go to the 0%. Now these two are aligned. Now do the same thing here. T, scale it, press these, scale it, these, scale, and these, scale. Okay. This is perfect. Let's see how it looks like here. I think that's fine. Okay, jump into the points mode and select the rectangle selection and pull it here. Okay, what we want to do with these is select everything here, right click and chamfer. This is how you actually bevel in the spline mode. So we want to add a slight chamfer like this. Okay, we have a spline. Now go into the model mode. While having the spline selected, you want to press down Alt and add it to the extrude. Jump back to the perspective view, press E on your keyboard and rotate it a bit. Okay, it is here. Let's now press F2. As you can see, our model is here, but our control point is here, and this really sucks. So you want to activate this, enable access, and reposition it here. And then you want to jump, clicking F4 to the front view, and press R to rotate, and rotate it 90 degrees. Press Shift to snap. Okay, we have put it here. Let's scale it down, rotate it a bit, and this is fine. Let's put it down here. Okay, go into the extrude, reduce the offset like this. Okay, this is fine. And now what we want to do is pressing this spline down, we want to select Q to deactivate it, jump into the points mode and actually like select these and change the shape a bit. Okay, this is what we wanted. Something like this. When you have the spline selected, press down Q and it will activate it. Now put it somewhere here, scale it down. Actually, I will go into the point mode, press Q. Okay. This is the shape that we wanted, and we will do now other things here. As you can see, it's extruded 3 times. Let's see how that is done. We can go here into the caps, and we want to add a bevel. The bevel is here. It's just a small bevel, 2 centimeters. The bevel shape is round. Let's see what else do we have here. It's solid. Okay, it's round. Okay, yeah, we actually don't want to add a bevel right now. We want to jump to the offset, to the object and the offset, and decrease it like this. And this is fine. Now press this extrude, press down C, and you created an editable element out of the extrude. Now what you want to do is exit, actually go into the polygon mode, select the polygon here, and let's try to move it. Okay. Now press I on your keyboard to inner extrude, and we want to make an inner extrusion like this. So not really a high extrusion. As we move, the value here will change. It's 3.4. So let's create an inner extrusion like this. This is okay. Now I want to press D for simple extrusion, and you want to put 3 and enter, and it will extrude it out. Let's just leave the camera view and zoom it a bit, and as you can see, this is the shape that we got. Now press I again press here, press enter, it will inner extrude it again. Now press D again, and then press here and press enter, and it will extrude it again. This is the shape that we wanted to make. Now go into the edge mode, press loop selection, so it's UL, select this edge, actually this edge, press down shift, select this edge, select all of these edges. We want to bevel these now to get the highlights. This one is a bit tricky to select. Not sure why. Okay, let's activate the viewport solo here and just select this. Perfect. Okay, we have it now. Press bevel or MS, and add a little bevel here. Perfect. Jump out of the camera view, and that's it. Now when I look at it, I think it's fine. We can still add it to the shape. Go into the points mode. You can select these points, do something like this, and then just rotate it a bit, maybe scale it down, put it somewhere here. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with how this looks like. Now I noticed that this edge here is sharp. It adds to the overall look and feel. You can also change the geometry. It's not really that hard. So you can jump into the points mode, exit the camera view, and just actually not points mode. Let's jump to the edge mode and just double click on these edges, and then you can select really all of these edges and leave only one, and you can make it sharp. You press dissolve or MM on your keyboard. This is what you get. Looks like I forgot an edge. Okay, I selected this. So, okay, dissolve. Why is it leaving two edges? Oh, because both of these are, okay, it's this one. Okay, dissolve. This is the only one is left now, but our shape is a bit weird. So you want to go and select all of these and put them here and pull them down. And I think this is fine. It's a bit weird. Yeah, let's jump back and we can just move it down. And that is the shape. Never be afraid to change the geometry. Once you get used to it, it will really not be that hard. Let's continue. We now want to create this triangle here. So to create it, we'll need a triangle. So it's end side. Create an end side, and for the sides, make it 3. And then press R to rotate it. It's 90 degrees. Now we have a triangle. Let's jump to the front view and put it to the right, just so it's easier. Scale it down a bit. This is our triangle. So let's make it editable. And press T to scale it up, because I've seen it's a bit higher. So this is our triangle. Now, as you can see, our triangle, it's extruded. So we will use a sweep component to create this. So create a sweep while selecting the triangle and pressing Alt on your keyboard. What we need to make is a rectangle. The rectangle needs to go here. Scale it down. Rotate it like, actually scale it, actually change the width, make it like this, and reduce the height, and then reduce the width, and then rotate the rectangle 90 degrees like this. Put it inside the sweep, and this is what we get. Okay, and now you have to select the rectangle again and scale it down, and this is what we get. Select the sweep, move it to the left, press F1, rotate it. Okay, Now while having the rectangle selected, let's just see how we can increase its width, and here in height it's actually increasing the width of the sweep. This is exactly what we wanted. Let's select the sweep, rotate it, scale it down, and put it down like this. Okay, this is perfect. We want to bevel it a bit, so I think we should just bevel the rectangle. So press C to make the rectangle editable, and then go into points mode, press Ctrl A to select all the rectangle points. Rectangle is actually here, so let's press F2 to jump into the top mode, and now bevel this, actually chamfer, since it's a spline, so chamfer, and do small chamfer like this. Press F1, and here it is, our triangle has a chamfer now. Okay, that is our triangle. Okay, to continue, we want to create our next shape, and let's do this one here. So this is a cylinder. On top of it, we have two cut. I think these are tubes, another tube, and then a cloner element here. So let's begin with the cylinder. Put the cylinder, kill the height segments. Okay, reduce the radius of the cylinder, reduce the height, reduce the radius, and put the cylinder here. Increase its height, put it somewhere here. Increase the rotation segments to 50, and add a slide in the caps at a fillet, and increase the radius to 2. And reduce the radius of the cylinder. This is fine. Now, let's jump into the top view to see where the cylinder is. We have to put it here so that it doesn't overlap. While you have the cylinder selected, press down Ctrl on your keyboard and add a tube. That will add the tube in the position of the cylinder. So you want to pull it up, rotate it a bit, 90 degrees, kill the height segments, actually scale the whole tube down, like this. Okay. Now go into slice it. Let's put 180 here and 0 there. Let's actually rotate this, so actually just press the tube, go R and rotate it like this. 180 degrees, put the tube here. Jump to the top view. Change the height of the tube like this. And we want to increase the outer radius. Actually, the inner radius, make it like this. And then scale the whole tube up a bit, put it here, rotate it like this, and add a fillet to it. And then for the fillet, the radius, make it 0.5. And now for the rotation segments, put 50 here. Okay, this is now good. Press E to activate the move tool. Now press Ctrl and the move to duplicate, and you put it here. Press R, rotate this 180 degrees. Of course, I'm pressing down Shift to snap and put it here. Okay, this is perfect. You want to press down Ctrl and add a cylinder. Kill the height segments, add 100 rotation segments, scale it down, put it somewhere here, jump to the top view, change the height, make it match, put it here, and add the caps, add the fillet, and this is what we wanted. While pressing down, while selecting this cylinder, we don't need really 100 segments of the cylinder since it's so small. So in the object tag, just put 50 here. That's even a lot. Let's put 30. We have this cylinder. Now press this cylinder and Ctrl C, Ctrl V to duplicate it. Go into the front view, press S, and we want to make a really small one like this. So it should stay here. Maybe increase its height. Okay. Now while go back here, and while having the cylinder selected, go into MoGraph, press down Alt on your keyboard and put it into a cloner. Now we want to create a radial and increase the radius like this. This is exactly what I wanted. Now when I see in the cylinder, we want to increase the radius a bit like this, okay, and the caps. Okay, I think we're fine here. Let's add another one like 6. Yeah, this is fine. Now select this cloner, pull it up, press down Control and pull it up to duplicated. You want to increase the radius of this. Pull the cloner up this cylinder, maybe reduce its height and add a lot of elements to the cloner. Okay, now press this, duplicate it by pressing on Control and moving, put it here, and then T to scale and scale it up like this. Now I put it here, and now we want to decrease the inner radius or increase it like this. Yeah, increase it. Okay, select this corner here, put it somewhere here. Yeah, that's it. We're finished with this shape. It's not 100% copied, but that's it. I like it. It's cool. Okay, now let's add this one here. And this is actually the same element, so just add a sphere, make the segments, put the segments to 50, scale down the sphere, jump to the top view, put the sphere here. Okay, the sphere goes here, and then select this element, press down Control, actually this element, press down Control and drag it here, rotate it like this. Oops. Scale it down. Actually, as you see, when I scale it down, it scales only like this because I've locked this Y-axis here, so unlock it. I'm not sure how I did this. Shortcut is Y, so yeah. If you only press Y, you will lock it. So do this. Now when I look at this, I think the width is too high, so I will jump into the points mode, jump into the top view, and grab the rectangle selection, make sure my select only visible elements is not checked. I will select these and do this. Okay, I will put it here. I will put it here like this, and now go into the polygons, Control A to select everything, and then jump into the modeling axis, and as you can see, Y is the height, so put the height here, press R to rotate it like this. Okay, as you can see, I'm gonna leave it when it's intersecting. It's this. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with this. Let's add our next shape. We want to add this one. It's like a sphere. So let's add a sphere. Okay, and now we want to exit the camera mode and then have the sphere here, make it solo. And let's see if we put the sphere into the subdivision surface. So you have the sphere selected, you press Alt and click here, and the sphere is in subdivision surface. Press C, select the loop selection, go into the polygon mode, select every other loop. Okay, now we want to press D for extrude. Actually press E, and as you can see our Y is still here. Just right click here to reset it. Okay, with these polygons selected, press D and extrude. Activate the subdivision, and this is what we get. This is the shape that we wanted. Let's exit the viewport solo and move this sphere here. put it here. Okay. Okay. Let's now create our next element. We want to create, what we want to create is this one. We are creating this shape now. And yeah, as you can see, we have a cylinder here, another cylinder, like an extruded one, and a cone-ish cylinder. This, let's begin just by adding a cylinder. So the cylinder goes here, decrease the radius, make it like this, increase the rotation segments to something like 60, and jump to the front view, resume, zoom where it needs to go, put it somewhere here. Yeah. Kill the height segments, we don't need these. And go into the caps, enable the fillet. Let's jump F1, decrease the radius, maybe something like this. 3 segments is fine. Let's decrease the height a bit. We want to make it like this. Okay, this is fine. We want to duplicate this one like this, put it here. And now what we want to do, actually we don't need how to reduce the height. This is fine, something like this. Okay. And now what we want to do is duplicate it once again. We will need this shape. So first let's add some extrudes here. Okay, yeah, this is what we have now, and how we want to do this is we want this cylinder, we want to subdivide it, so put it in a subdivision surface. But first turn off the subdivision surface, click on the cylinder, click C to make it editable. Loop select everything, so loop selection while in polygon mode, loop select everything, press I, extrude it inwards, make sure the subgroups is unchecked, and then press D to do this, and drag to extrude it inwards, and then press Q and activate the subdivision surface, and this is what you will get. And now go into edge mode again, turn off the subdivision surface, this is our geometry. Go into the ring selection, select all of these edges, press MM, and you will get this edge here. So go into the loop selection again, select this loop, and then press MS, now bevel, and create these two. And now press Q, and this is what we get. This is exactly the geometry we wanted, so put it here. And for the top part here, okay, what we want to do here is really straightforward. Basically, we want to make this cylinder editable and go into the point mode, select this point and pull it up. And yeah, jump into the Octane camera, and this is our shape here. So I see that we want to change the shape a bit, so go into the right mode and rectangle selection, select all of these and pull them down a bit like this, and yeah, this is now fine. Now when I look at everything, guys, think that this mid part is a bit too big, so you want to do the same thing, so do something like this, and then go into the object mode here to, yeah, okay, this is fine. Let's now create this shape here. We already used a similar method, so we want to grab the polygon spline pen, jump into the top view, and just draw something here. So do something like this. Actually, go escape. We don't want to have the cylinder selected, so delete the spline. Now, while not selecting anything, do the spline pen and then do something like this. Okay, and now select all the vertices, points mode, select everything, right click. Okay, looks like we have 2 here because, okay, actually not, this is fine. Right click and then chamfer, and yeah, Let's actually not select this one. So press down Control and deselect this. Now everything else is selected except for that. Right click chamfer. And yeah, this is what we wanted. Okay. Actually, let's. Okay, for this shape, let's actually select two of these. Right click chamfer these. So something like this. And then move this one here. And then right click and chamfer it to get this shape. Yeah, I think I like this. And then maybe select two of these and pull them like this. Yeah, this is fine. Now put it into an extrude, make the spline a child of the extrude, and make the offset like 3 centimeters or 4 centimeters, and put this down here. Let's exit the camera mode. Let's see what we got. So let's repeat for our extrude. Press C to make it editable, and then press center axis 2 to put the extrude here. So pull it somewhere here like this. Scale it up a bit, put it here. And now select this. I for inner extrude it like this, and then press D to extrude it inwards. And now you want to grab the loop selection, go into edge mode and select these edges. And bevel these, MS. And now these are beveled, add some subdivisions. And yeah, we'll jump back to our camera mode. Okay, I think we can change something slightly on our camera. So pick a camera and go into the right view like this. And we want to rotate the camera just 1 degree. So as you can see, set, rotation. Let's see if this is the right one. Okay, we want to remove the protection expression, put it here, and then try to rotate the camera. Okay, it's actually, rotation is here. So we want to rotate it down 1 degree. And then, while pressing 1, I will put this like here. Okay, this is what we wanted. Let's now move back the protection tag onto our camera. Okay, let's jump to our next shape, and our next shape are the stairs here. So to do this, we'll need a cube, and scale it down a bit, rotate it, put the cube somewhere here, and then pull it down. Okay, this is fine. Let's now, this is okay, let's move it here. Now we want to exit the camera mode, and I think we can make it a bit smaller like this. And now we want to make the cube editable. Go into the edge mode, find the loop path cut the cube here, and press the plus button here. So we want to have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. And go into the polygon mode, live selection, select these, press D on your keyboard, extrude like this. Okay, so this value here, we will need it. Press Ctrl and select here to deselect. Press again, press Ctrl to deselect, select again, press Ctrl to deselect, and yeah, this is what we wanted. Now Ctrl 8 to select all polygons, and then T to scale this a bit, and you can put it here. Now we want to bevel the edges, so we want to go into the loop selection, select these, do the same for this side, and go into ring selection, press down shift, select everything here. Okay, MS on your keyboard, and bevel these edges. This is perfect. Our stairs are now finished. Let's see what else do we want to create. Okay, for these three models, they're a bit harder to model. We're going to replace them with some cool abstract shapes. So I'm not even sure how these are modeled. So let's just use a platonic shape and put it here. And what we want to do is, while we have the platonic shape, we want to add it into the atom array like this. And then press the atom array, and you want a sphere radius to match the cylinder radius. So just put 2 here. And yeah, this is our shape that will go here. For the next shape, we will use a pyramid. And we will put the pyramid, we will rotate it like this. And we will put it here. So for the pyramid, you want to make it editable. Press C, go into the edge mode, Control A to select everything, and then MS to bevel, and bevel it a bit, and add some subdivisions. Okay, our pyramid is here. And now we want to add a cube here. So use the cube, add it somewhere here. Of course, jump into the top view and put the cubes somewhere here. And now we want to jump to the polygon selection, make the cube, actually go to the fillet and add some fillets. And then make the cube editable. Select 3 of these, press I, extrude inwards, and then press D and extrude inwards. Exit the camera view and just fillet these edges here. UL for polygon selection, select these, select this, and select this. MS, bevel these. Okay, go back into the camera view. Okay, this is perfect. I think the only 2 elements that we have left is the seat here. This is a bit more complex, and this shape here. I don't really like this shape. I think it triggers trypophobia. I'm not sure if you have heard of it, but it's a fear of patterns. So we're going to replace it with a sphere probably. So let's just put a sphere there. So the sphere, it goes here. And for this seat, I think we can search the web and find something nice to put here. You don't really need to model everything yourself. So let's just go into the Turbo Squid, for example, and try a chair. And then go price and find a free chair that would fit our scene. So let's see which one is free here. One that is cool. For example, I like this one. So we can just jump in here and download this one. So we have an OBJ format that's cool, so go download. Downloads. And just download this OBJ, and you want to extract the OBJ and then just import it here. And yeah, the OBJ is here. You can scale it down a bit and put it somewhere here. And yeah. Okay, the modeling part of our tutorial is now finished. Of the first section, let's now turn on our Octane to see what we have here, and we can shade this. Let's add some texture to this, and yeah. So for the Octane, we need an Octane live window, and have my preset here. So just copy this, pause the screen, and copy this max samples, diffuse depth, specular depth, scattering, and everything here. In the camera imager, you want to make sure your denoiser is turned on, because this is really useful. And if you go into the Octane camera here and the camera imager, enable it, make sure the denoiser works here as well, enable. So these are our settings. We want to now add an HDRI, so add an HDRI environment, and we're going to use a simple setup. So the HDRI that we want is Studio 3. You can find it in the description. And now let's save the scene and turn on our render. And yeah, this is what we get. Let's now inspect our model here, dock it here. And for the chair, let's just select our chair and go into the polygon mode, and let's see if we double click an element, if we can easily texture this later. Okay, this doesn't, it doesn't really matter, we shouldn't change this. Let's leave it as it is and select our HDRI and just rotate it a bit. We wanna light it from one side to get the dramatic look. So something like this, increase the power. Okay, so our scene is really lit from the right. Let's now fix some inconsistencies that we have here. So jump into the object mode, select this sphere, move it somewhere here. I think this one is a bit, okay, it's not, this one is fine. Okay, the colors I want to use here, obviously I want to change the colors of this chair, so let's just leave them as they are because these are downloaded, and these are the colors that we're going to use. Okay, so we have a pretty limited color palette here. We need the blue. The blue is A1C2DF. So what you want to create is just a standard glossy material. It's an Octane glossy material. So materials, create Octane glossy. You want to jump into the roughness, increase it to 0.5, and then for the diffuse, change it to this code. Duplicate the material and just change the code to B6A1DF. This is our purple. We want the pink. The pink is DFA1A1. And the orange is F2C1696, sorry. The roughness is a bit smaller for the orange color here. And of course the black. The black is 000. Okay, let's put it somewhere here because completely black is not really realistic. So what we want to do now for our chair here, for the purple material on our chair, we want to pick the yellow material and replace this purple with the yellow. So just press down Alt and put the yellow over the purple here. And for the rest of the chair, we want to make this pillow purple, so do this. And for the other parts, you want to make them black, so do this and do this. I'm always pressing down Alt to replace the materials here. Okay, this is our chair. I think for the orange material, I will jump into roughness and increase it because I don't want that shine here. Okay, so we will add the pink material to our background. We will add yellow to the butt part here, the purple to this shape, okay, pinkish goes here, dark purple here, yellow for these elements, purple for the background element. We want to create one metallic material to have a nice reflection, so let's jump into metallic materials, increase the roughness here. For the specular, because metallic materials, they don't, diffuse doesn't change its color, go into the specular and pick something that has that golden feel. I think it's somewhere here. And then for the roughness map, you want to add an Octane noise. And just put that here. You can have some reflections here. Okay, put the black one here. Pink one here. For the cloner, now select the cloner element for these 3 cubes and press C. This is now editable. We have 3 cubes. The first one is blue. You can right click on the blue and select apply. The second one is orange, is pink, and the third one is yellow. So we want to add a pink one here as well, a blue one here, pink one here. For the cloner on the top, we want this to be yellow. For this middle, we want this pink. For this one, the black. This is blue. Actually, let's make this purple as well. Let's make this pink. For the sphere, we want to make it pink as well. This one is this thing here is black. I think the black looks bad, so let's add some blue here. Let's make this one yellow. Actually, let's try making this golden. Okay, I like it. Let's actually make this golden as well. And this one here, let's make it blue. And for the stairs, let's make them purple. And this one is purple as well. And this shape here, I think we can try making it. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's now fix our lighting. We need to increase the lighting a bit. Let's see what happens if our lighting is like this. I like how this looks like. I think this can work with only an HDRI. So yeah, as you can see, we're getting most of our light from the right. The left here is left in dark. It adds to the dramatic feel. I'm not sure what, okay, these things here, these are the shadows from this element. I think it adds some nice detail. Let's now see if we want to add some post-production work here. So maybe increase the exposure. No, that's a bad idea. Maybe increase the gamma. Increasing the gamma kind of reduces the contrast. It adds a bit of a dreamy feel. But we can increase the gamma only ever so slightly. Let's go to the post-processing and add some bloom maybe. Yeah, it adds some dreamy feel as well. So just a bit of bloom. Okay, now I see here that we have this gray stuff. This is because our plane, select the plane, we need to increase the plane's width. So do this, increase the plane's width. Okay, let's see. If I press lock here, it will allow me to resize the render. This is our render. I think this is perfect. We just now let it render and we will have the final image that you can use. Actually, it looks like our chair is floating. So select the chair and jump into the right view and put it here. I think nothing else floats, and this I don't like this reflection here. I will make this one pink. And yeah, that's it. This is our first piece of the course. We're now moving to the second one. Great job, guys. If you managed to get this far, great job. Take care. See you in another video. Bye-bye. Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how to light the first composition. So you have finished modeling in the previous video, and this should be the same thing you have. I changed some shaders though. So for the golden shader here that we created in the modeling video, just here in specular, reduce its, I'm not sure why this is not opening. Okay, reduce its saturation here, put it to 33%, because we want to keep some of the pastel look here. And yeah, I just changed the color of this chair and stuff like that. So here, to begin lighting this, we're going to use the HDRI, and in the whole course we're using only one HDRI, and that's Studio 03.exr. It will be available in this folder. And this is the power of the HDRI, and this is the rotation. As you can see on this render here, the HDRI has one strong light and some backdrop here. So that light is coming from the right here. As you can see, this part is lit and this part is not lit. So that is the position I want out of the HDRI of the light. And for the camera settings here, exposure is 1, gamma is 1. In the next tutorials, I will play with the exposure and the gamma. Even I might play it with it in this scene. But yeah, this is it. And post-processing, we don't have it here. So let's light this scene using area lights. So I will create a new area light, and I will pull it somewhere here like this. And what I want to do with it first is go to the visibility, disable camera visibility, disable shadow visibility, and for the general visibility, remove this as well. Reduce the power of the light to something like 14. Now what I want to do is jump to the top view and then pull this light. This is a backlight, and I'm going to increase its width and pull it somewhere here like this, so that we get the background lit. And yeah, I want to decrease the power of this light a bit more. And yeah, this is perfect. Now we have the background light and we have the HDRI. So now we want to create, let's name this light backlight. Now we want to create a key light. And the key light will be in the same position as our HDRI, but it will be higher in power. So here in the top view, press down Control and move this backlight. We basically duplicated it. Rotate it like this and jump into the right view and just maybe make it like this. And let's name it key light. And now let's increase its power to something like 10. We want this light to be stronger, but to not burn anything. So we don't want anything to be too white. This is pretty good. Let's try 12. Okay, 12 is perfect. I like how this looks like. So now let's jump into the top view again and take the key light here and rotate it like this. Basically make it symmetrical to come from the left. And this is the fill light. Name it fill light. And for the fill light, we want to reduce it in its power down to 4. So we're getting some light here, but not a lot. We just want to remove the really hard shadows. So let's try putting the key light to 2. Okay, nice. And now let's create a top light to see how it looks like. So I click on the backlight, press E and press down Control to move the backlight here. And now I rotate the backlight like this and jump to the right view and pull the backlight, the top light like this, so that it lights the scene from the top. Jump to the top view again and increase its size like this. And now our scene is lit from the top as well. And yeah, this is the basic light setup we're using here. I'm pleased with this. I'm not gonna change anything. I will change these 2 tubes. So I will increase the fillet radius to 1 maybe, and height to something like 25, because I think they are too thin. 23 or 20 for the height. But yeah, this is the lighting setup. This is the lighting technique we will use in the whole course. In this next composition, I already have the lights made up in the video, so you should refer to this video if you didn't understand how to move lights around, etc. But yeah, this is it. Now let me see, just for this fill light, if you want to compare, go here, compare, store render buffer, and then disable the fill light. Let's just see how this scene looks like when we don't have a fill light. This is without the fill light and this is with the fill light. So without the fill light we have a bit of a stronger contrast here, but I think both are fine, so I'm not gonna, I thought maybe I want to remove the fill light, but it's fine like this. And now I see this sphere is floating a bit, so I'll pull it down. And this sphere here is maybe floating a bit as well, so let's pull it down. But yeah, this is the scene, and let's just make sure to path. If you have the AI denoiser turned on, you can put the samples to 500. Just make sure here in camera imager denoiser you have the denoiser on, and here on your camera settings are like this. Let's maybe put the gamma to 0.9, or yeah, actually no, remove the gamma, just make it 1, and maybe in the post-processing add like 5 to the bloom to make it look more dreamy. And here in the spectral AI denoiser, make sure it's turned on, and now jump to the settings, and this is the resolution we're rendering with. And yeah, this is lighting explained. I hope you guys enjoyed making this composition, and let's see you in another one. Take care, great job, bye bye.